Welcome back to the DGD podcast. As always, Robert Reynolds, Juan Daniels, Kobe Pierce. Guys, we're talking a little bit different today. We're talking Georgia football in terms of the Super Bowl, right? The Super Bowl. Obviously, I think Georgia fans should be aware 22 consecutive years a dog has been represented or will be represented in the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about that. I want to go through a trip down memory lane, Juan, Kobe. We generated a list of every NFL and if any Georgia player that's participated in this streak. You're going to see that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to relive some Super Bowl moments as well, some commercials, whatever we want to talk about, folks, as we prepare for the Super Bowl. It's just good to know that a Georgia Bulldogs about to win a ring is all I'm going to say. But first off, before we even start, AJ Green, probably one of the best receivers Georgia's ever had in its history, announced his retirement. Congratulations on a successful career, first off. Listen, I would say that's an accolade-filled career, if you ask me. But what are your thoughts on AJ Green's retirement, guys?
I mean, I think it's great. I mean, I think that he was one of the people that were discussed as far as being on that Mount Rushmore for Georgia. You know, just his great accomplishments. But I mean, to have to retire on a 77-yard touchdown pass in your last game, way to go out. And I really feel like he's doing it right. I mean, you just take a look at other greats that you're just kind of like, man, you should have just retired a lot earlier, like the Jerry Rices and even Tom Brady. Like, just, go out in a blaze of glory. And I think that is exactly what he's doing.
Kobe, what say you, sir?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing with AJ Green is I just hate his NFL career. He just didn't really ever have a team with him. He never really found. I know he had Andy Dalton for a while, and the Bengals were okay here and there, but he just never really had a superstar quarterback, a superstar team. I mean, I look at like Jamar Chase on the Bengals right now and the quarterback he has and the team he has around him and how successful he is. And to think, what AJ did as the best player on one of the worst teams for so many years, I think that's even more impressive to some extent that he was able to make things happen. And then probably one of my most memorable moments is, I don't know if y'all remember, when he just beat the hell out of Jalen Ramsey in that fight. That's one of the that's just a really funny moment, I feel like, from like towards the end of his career. But
I mean, what if we could take AJ Green, prime AJ Green, and put him on the Bengals today? It would be the best receiving core arguably ever, at least a duo.
Yeah.
The dude was absolutely nasty. Absolutely nasty. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. Guy. Yeah, I mean, you made Andy Dalton look like a damn Pro Bowler. Like, just going to leave that there. So for some reason, I'm seeing through YouTube. Obviously, I see these comments and everything, but can't for some reason see them in our actual chat here. But we're going to talk to the brigade for a second. We're going to do a roll call. Pat, the 6033, Black Adonis. Speaking of Black Adonis, your Gators are losing arguably their best player on the team. Trevor Etienne just announced he's hitting the portal. Obviously can't leave right now, but when that May window hits, he is more than likely gone. So Florida is down big time right now. And I couldn't be any more happy. Couldn't be any more happy to hear that. I wish all the bad things in life happened to them and nobody else.
Well, Auburn. Don't forget about Auburn.
Well, that too. Yeah, that too.
Nobody else.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. Joel, J-O-double-G's in the house. Tanil, good morning. Good morning. Kobe's in the chat. Black Adonis.
He can't cheer against Auburn. He has an Auburn shirt.
No, I don't. I'll take a picture.
Auburn fan.
Pause that bullshit. I'll take a picture of it. I'll show you that it's not fucking orange. I'll show you that it's not orange.
Auburn is sponsored by Under Armour.
Okay, and you act like you can't have a pink shirt or anything like that.
Welcome to the DG.
Salmon.
Welcome
Salmon.
to the DGD podcast, where our host is sponsored by the Auburn Tigers.
By the Auburn freaking Tigers.
I'm about to break loose and end this shit right now. I'll do it.
And that's it for our show today. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Great show.
Thanks for having us.
Shortest show we've ever done.
Yeah.
Before we leave, let's leave you with a good. Let's do this. Hold on. There we go. Run, Juan, run. That's me leaving the hideaway, right? Apparently, it's salmon. I mean, as Pat says, hashtag salmon. Yeah, Juan, though, you got an Auburn tattoo, so I guess it could be worse.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
You just can't escape it, Juan. Anytime we ever bring anything up, it's like, oh yeah, well that may be bad, but Juan,
yeah, always deflecting. You have your deflectors, man.
Hey, I didn't do that. That's Adonis talking there.
Yeah.
That's Adonis talking there. I didn't do that. I just ran with it. I obliged.
Is that what it is?
In all seriousness, though, let's transition to the Super Bowl Sunday. God, I gotta regroup. I'm not elite today, folks. I'm just gonna let you know. With that being said, though, let's take a quick look at this upcoming matchup. You got two rookies, right? Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean. Both obviously rookies. We know this, but they're on the Eagles that are taking on the Chiefs, right? So you've got 4 Georgia Bulldogs in this upcoming Super Bowl. So you've got obviously Nakobe and Jordan. But then on the Chiefs side, you got Mecole and Malik Herring.
Yeah, I think Mecole is still. I think
Mecole is out. By the way, I think Mecole's out. I don't think he's going to play. And honestly, I don't keep up with enough NFL to truly know this, but I don't know how much Malik has played. If he has, I think he may have played very, very small amount. Let's see. Adonis told me I needed to touch my beard 97 times. I counted it. It's 101.
And
so
it's
off.
Yeah, it's actually Rob Redbeard.
Yes.
And it's not dyed. It's actually his natural color. We'll have to ask Patrick.
No, it's actually red. Yeah.
Is it red?
Mm-hmm. It's actually red.
It looks like salmon to me.
No.
Yeah, there it is. Salmon.
Salmon beard.
A salmon colored beard. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. I mean, fair point. You got me.
Pat,
I put Blackbeard to shame, by the way.
Pat, I have a request for a Pat fact because I can't find it. Can you see if there's a list out there of people who have won a national championship and then gone on to the very next year win the Super Bowl, like back to back like that?
That's tough. You know what though? I would assume it was probably going to be off of like an LSU team. Because I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I heard that LSU has the same year streak as us. We're tied for first. I seen a report that was the case. Maybe it's off of one of those, maybe that 2019 team or that 07 team. But I would assume that maybe the 2019 has a better chance of it.
I'm sure it's been done a few times throughout history. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Tennille, I guess Tennille is going for the Eagles. We just confirmed that, but she said Mecole isn't playing. Team Dawgs, and then parentheses Eagles. So
yeah. So I mean, my thing is, when I look at the Eagles, right? I think the Eagles are taking the approach of, especially under Kirby Smart, like taking defensive players, and like when you look back on it, though, when we looked at the draft last year, when they took Jordan Davis at 13, I was ecstatic. Right. I know we had talked about it. I thought he was going to go to the Chargers. I thought that would have been a good spot. But when you pair him with Fletcher Cox, I think that is one of the better spots for him to grow, right, especially throughout this rookie season. But Nakobe Dean falling to the 3rd, and them getting Nakobe to pair with Jordan Davis I think that was the steal of the draft. Because, no, I ain't going to say they're bona fide starters, but I think Jordan Davis – probably is, or very heavy into rotation. Nakobe's played as well, and they're making an impact on that team. So I'm looking forward to. I'm more likely to see this game just to see if Jordan and Nakobe play and how they do. I just think it'll be fun to watch, and like I said, it gives us another boasting point, right? 22 consecutive years that you've had a Georgia Bulldog in the Super Bowl. So 22 consecutive years, that's just nuts. It's nuts to think about. But I don't see that. I see that streak continuing. I really do. Do y'all disagree with that?
No, I agree. I mean, you're always going to get. I mean, again, we had 15 guys in the draft last year, and that's not to say the people that were, free agents. So you're always going to have a dog, and they're always going to, like I said, they're going to be prepared. So when we were just talking about Will Anderson, when we were talking about, who's going to be taken first, again, I'm going to pick a Georgia guy first because, again, they're battle tested. And, they're NFL ready once they get there. It's almost like, you just kind of plug them in and they're ready to perform.
I mean, from what we hear about Bloody Tuesday, I think that'll prepare you for the NFL pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I'm not sure there's a practice in the NFL that is as hard as Tuesdays at the university.
Oh, the NFL practices are not very hard at all. I mean, they're just
the games are different, right? The game's a different situation.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I'm not sure that any NFL team straps it up like we do on Tuesdays and just runs into a wall head first over and over again.
Yeah, that's just crazy to think about it. But I mean, it does at the same time, though, it does put Georgia in a situation where they're always ready to go at an elite level.
Yep.
I mean, if you think about it, right? Obviously, in the Super Bowl situation, right? Like you've got Nakobe and Jordan Davis. They came in and started going right away. So I think it prepares them for the NFL and maybe even the games. You know what I mean? So just saying.
True.
Adonis says, Kobe, when do we get that Athens Penitentiary Cell Block C backdrop again? Listen, don't question my man's freedom, okay? Like, my man wishing for your downfall, Kobe. He's wishing for that. He's praying for your downfall.
What we need to do is we need to see a picture of Kobe's ankles to see if he's got that ankle monitor on. So
that might be bigger than the. That might be bigger.
Talking about it was found not guilty.
With the delegation.
Yes.
I learned a good lesson that day. I'll never do a show from my apartment ever again. There's my wife in the chat right there.
The Pierce prison. Hey, the warden's here.
Yeah, there we go.
The warden is here.
Yeah, she lets us know how it really is.
The warden is here.
Yeah.
And this ain't Paul Crew. Oh, Jesus. Anyways. Hello, warden. Sorry. Kobe's wife. Sorry. I learned better. I should have learned. Sorry. I apologize. But no, so obviously I want to take a quick trip down memory lane, right? We've talked about this 22-year streak. Let's go through a list, shall we, of the dogs in the Super Bowl. What do you think? Pulling it up here. So you have Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, Malik Herring. Mecole Hardman was represented in, obviously, this year, 21 and 2020. Matt Stafford, Sony Michel. Sony Michel's been there multiple times as well in 2022, 2019, and 2018. Leonard Floyd, Lamont Galliard, Trey Hill, Elijah Holyfield, David Andrews 3 times as well, 2019, 2018, and 2017 with the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken. Todd Gurley, Malcolm Mitchell, Thomas Davis, Charles Johnson. That's already, we're going obviously from recent back, so keep that in mind. DeMarcus Hobbs, Champ Bailey, by the way, Chris Clemens, D'Angelo Tyson, Danny Ware, Hines Ward, Juan, there's your guy, 2006, 2009, and 2011. Jarius Wynn, John Stinchcomb, Leonard Pope, Kawika Mitchell, that's a name you ain't heard of in a hot minute. Richard Seymour, Ben Watson, Tim Jennings, Veron Haynes, the Hobnail Boot, Max Strong, John Casey, there you go, special teamer, Jermaine Phillips, Matt Stinchcomb, and Patrick Pass, represented in 2002 and 2005.
Yep. Missing from that is Andre Hastings. Andre Hastings played for the Pittsburgh Steelers when they went to the Super Bowl.
I forgot My bad.
That's
Out
all.
of that list, though, there's been several moments, and I think which one stuck out to you the most? If you had to choose, which one stood out to you the most?
I'm just Heinz Ward not only being in the Super Bowl, but winning the Super Bowl MVP. That's a pretty cool, pretty cool thing to say. I mean, not many people make it to the Super Bowl in their entire time, and then and then to win a Super Bowl MVP.
So apparently, the Pat fact is Sony Michel was the Super Bowl MVP as an NFL rookie. He scored the only touchdown in the game. Was that the 10-3 Patriots-Rams?
But I think Edelman won the MVP, I thought, that year. It was 13-3. It was the 13-3 game, though.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Now, for some reason, I was trying to remember who scored that touchdown in the Rams game. Sorry. Like I said, I don't keep up with the NFL too much. I just keep up with the
No. I
Dogs.
think Sony scored the touchdown, but I'm just saying I think Edelman was the MVP of the game, not Sony.
Let's see here. So, Blackie Donna says, Juan was in the AFL World Championship game. Does that count?
It should.
It should, but I don't know. I don't see. I was being technical and going off of actual Super Bowl, not other World Championship games.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, to your credit, Juan, we'll put the honorary mention. We'll
Thank
put you there.
Good looking out.
Absolutely. You got to do that for the GOAT. Tanil says, serious question. I counted 15 players entering the draft, but heard only 12 were invited to the combine. Who wasn't invited? And I'm glad we thought about this because I think you look at Warren Erickson was one that we came up with. Now, the other two, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember, though. I know Warren Erickson was a name that we didn't see. But, I mean, majority of your guys that are draft eligible are going to the combine. So, but regardless, either way, I think you look at it as they'll be at the Georgia Pro Day, nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, that might be more important than the actual NFL combine because you're still going to get 32 teams at Georgia's Pro Day. It'd be ridiculous not to. So, hopefully that answered your question, Tanil. Okay. So, clarification. Sony did score the touchdown and therefore should be the MVP. # I'm not wrong. I mean, the Pat facts never lie, do they?
Pat facts.
Just going to leave that there. Excuse me. So I'm going to open this up to the brigade here. I'm about to bring up the memorable moments, right? What memorable moments stood out to you through Super Bowls? Now, I'm going to open this up. Obviously, this is a Georgia football podcast, and we're talking about Dogs in the Super Bowl. Is there any moments that stood out to you from the Super Bowl in memory or whatever? And that doesn't have to necessarily be by a Georgia player, but are there any memorable moments for you that y'all have in a Super Bowl play, whether it be a play or whatever? What's your most memorable moment, Juan?
I would say Seattle not running. Gosh, I can't even think of the guy's name.
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch on the goal line, and you throw a pick. Like that to me was probably like the biggest bungle in the history of the Super Bowl. Like you've got the best running back at the time, and then you decide to throw a slant and get it picked off. Like that to me was
typical Gators. That seemed like a Florida Gator play call.
I think Black Adonis has done that too with the Minnesota Freeze. So that's
shots fired. I need a bullet sound. Pew, pew. Kobe, do you got any memorable moments, sir?
I was trying to think. It's close to like one of the first Super Bowls I really remember watching as a kid. But when the Steelers played Arizona and Roethlisberger threw that pass in the back of the end zone late in the game to Santonio Holmes. I mean, that was one of the first games I really like vividly remember watching. And I mean, it was just an unbelievable game. But I'm with Pat. My other one was when the 49ers cut the lights off. And then just because that was just so random. It was like a 30, 45-minute delay in the biggest game of the year.
And then it just so happens that the 49ers just come out playing lights out, pun intended.
Yeah. I'm a 49ers fan. I think it was right. I think it was just.
Okay, fair
They
enough.
did. They did.
I will say this. I will say my favorite moment. Oh Jesus, just watching the greatness of Tom Brady. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I thought it was John Elway finally getting that Super Bowl. John Elway getting that Super Bowl win, I think that was when I was first able to start understanding football. I was like 7 or 8, I think it was, and because you had that was the Super Bowl Terrell Davis one as well.
And he missed half of that game with a migraine.
Do what?
He missed half of that game with a migraine.
So that's just crazy. I mean, because I remember Terrell Davis used to be one of the best running backs in the league.
Yep.
Like, period. Like, and if I'm not mistaken, that was also the game where Elway leaped out and dove.
Yeah, he
got spun around.
He got helicoptered. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those moments that you'll always go back and look at and just be like, wow. Like, he's not the most athletic guy, right? But like him doing that, because he'd been trying to get there and he finally got there. And that's just like one of those iconic moments that summed up, right, that pinnacle moment for him. So I think that's one of my first memories of it, and I thought that was a great memory to look back on. But ultimately, though, I just think that was a really fun one to see.
Pat's talking my language with the 85 Bears refrigerator pairing. And that does make me think. I actually lied. Probably my most memorable is when Devin Hester took.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Colts. I thought that it was going to be smooth sailing from there. Peyton Manning had a different idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your quarterback was just awful. And where was he from?
Florida.
There you go.
Well, that was Sexy Rexy, as they call him, right?
Yep. Rex Grossman, who played pretty dang gross.
There's a reason why his name was Grossman. Yeah.
We had a pretty, to be a playoff caliber team, a Super Bowl caliber team. We had pretty poor quarterback room that year.
Yeah.
Pretty poor.
Yeah, I think
he was your starting quarterback.
I think Greasy was the backup in that.
It was pretty bad. But that's what when Black Adonis plays, they call him Rex. I mean, so it's.
Yeah, I'm hearing Strays getting shot. It sounds like we're in Chirac right now. Good Lord. Just to keep it home, we're in Chirac right now. God, there's strays everywhere. I'm just saying. Let's see, Pat's. Oh, yeah, well, we talked about that. With that being said, I do want to ask, is it me or have the commercials absolutely turned to shit recently? Is it just me?
Yeah, they're trash. I mean,
I used to look forward to those, and now it's like, please get this garbage off my television.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not alone in that sentiment right there.
I think the problem is social media is just such a big thing that like people try to either hype the commercials up too much before like they show them, or they just, if they think of a good commercial, they're like, why would I save it for the Super Bowl? Why not just go ahead and run that now?
I don't know, man. Do y'all have any like memorable commercials? What you got?
Well, I feel like the newest one that I can think of is the Bud Knight. That debuted on the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
I would say
they did that with the Dilly Dilly. Is that the Dilly? Yeah. Hold on.
He ran for a couple years. I mean, I would say that's a new age one. I would say more of an older one would be the showdown between Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, where they like shot around the.
That one was good.
And for a Big Mac, like they played a game of horse for a Big Mac. That was a really good one.
Yeah.
And then obviously the original one, the Coca-Cola one with Mean Joe Green.
So hold on, I gotta pause this. Adonis, y'all talk about me reverting shit off. He's doing this worse than I am. My man trying to throw me under the bus. Like, nah, fam, that's you. That's all on you. Like, I didn't feed you nothing. I didn't feed you a damn thing. You're gonna try to throw me under the bus. I can't help that Juan's giving you shit. Like, I'm not stopping him either. He's a grown man. He gonna talk what he want to talk. KTG in the chat. What's up? Go follow KTG. Bud Knight is the GOAT. You know what though, Juan? Do you remember the Bud Light commercials that had the iguanas or the chameleons or whatever it was?
Yeah.
The lizard,
Those were
yeah.
actually pretty funny.
Those were funny too.
Yeah.
The Clydesdale's an iconic commercial. I'm trying to think if there was any other funny commercials. Didn't you have that puppy monkey baby or whatever the hell it was or some shit like that?
I'm not sure.
The chat is going ballistic right now. I feel like we're gonna talk shit. I'm gonna talk shit back. I feel like Rex plays like Brucey, and by Rex I'm talking about Adonis.
Oh man,
Are you like Brucey? Just maybe. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just come to the treehouse.
We're gonna have to get him on for a show coming up soon. I
Yeah.
feel like we need to settle this like men on a podcast.
But we gotta wait till but we have to let him get in his home turf somewhere in Florida. You know, somewhere.
I mean,
live. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
I swear to God. I swear to God, if he don't come on,
he's gonna be sitting on a gator.
If he don't come on,
jorts.
If Adonis doesn't come on in a damn white wife beater and jorts with some sunglasses that are bigger than his head, I'm gonna die.
And a mullet.
Give him the pit vipers.
Yeah, he's gonna have to have a mullet.
Next thing you know, he's gonna be like, "We're going gator hunting, shoot him." Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, 50 score 56, Rob and the gang 7. Hey, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Y'all praying on my downfall today. Jesus.
Man.
I still got it, though. Juan, you talk about you still got it receiving. I still got a little bit of juice in this arm.
Oh,
I'll tell you right now, I ain't got nothing left no more.
You ain't got no snapping prowess, man?
And I had hip surgery after football's over. No thanks.
Let's see. All right, Juan got to shine his head. Rob, fix that comb over. Kobe, get work release, and I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll see if the warden, Adonis, will comment again in the chat. See if she'll clear me real quick. We can expedite this process if she's still watching.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Visitation hours are over, punk. Oh, Jesus. Before we do this, we talked about coming on for a roast, and what better way to talk about than a Apotheos Roastery, the sponsor for the show. Look at that. You like that? Just going to let you know. Follow them on social media, at Apotheos Roastery if you're on Instagram, Apotheos Coffee if you're on Twitter. Check out our website, dgdpodcast.com/Apotheos. Shop their selection, any blend of coffee that you get and you buy, 20% will go towards the Classic City Collective. Keep that in mind. Check them out. Follow them at Apotheos. I can't wait for my next shipment of coffee. I love coffee. Yum, yum, yum. Get into my belly. Sorry, I went a little Anchorman there for you. Let's see. Did she pop in? The warden, I don't think she's popped in yet. It doesn't look like it. I guess she's being summoned, though. My question is, if she's the warden, what is Pat? Because Pat's been here like the OG. What is he? Does he have a title?
I don't know, but Rob, can we now change your name to Rob and the Gang?
Rob and the Gang.
The Robs and the Robinettes. I'm just messing.
Like Cool in the Gang, man, but it's just
Rob
and the Gang.
Oh, man.
That's killing me.
I'd be down.
Oh, man.
We stay winning.
For me, that's the best of 2023 so far.
It's early.
That and then Adonis saying that it was Run Juan Lindsay Run or whatever it was in the background. That was terrible. Man, we got some terrible people in the chat, man. I'm just telling you.
What?
Some terrible.
Y'all, you hear that, Brigade? You hear that? Drop a comment. Drop a comment. Let them know how you feel about that. Just to let y'all know about that.
One bad apple spoils the bunch, and that's Black Adonis.
One. Is there? I guess we'll get back onto the Super Bowl topic. I do think that this is important. Do we want to predict who wins the game?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's do that. Let's get these. the convicts, we got to control everything. We got to hold D block down. All right, or C block. Excuse me, C block. My bad. I forgot where we were. Juan, I'm gonna let you start off. Who wins Super Bowl this Sunday?
I'm going to go with the Eagles. I'm going to be a Tennille fan. I think she likes the Eagles, so I'll like the Eagles too. I just think that from a physical standpoint, the Eagles are just physically going to be more dominant than Kansas City, defensively especially, but then on offense too. I mean, they're running the ball. Jalen Hurts is great. One of the things I like about Jalen Hurts that I just found out too is his entire staff, whether it be agent, his networking person, all that, they're all women. And I just think that that's cool that he could do that. And, maybe we should get one of them to replace Joel as our treasurer, because, again, I just kind of feel like we're getting poorer and poorer at each podcast. And I'm not sure what's happening with the money. But, yeah, I'm going with the Eagles. I say Eagles 37, Kansas City 33.
My man, talk about a damn Super Bowl or Rob's bowl cut. I ain't got no fucking bowl cut. Calm your ass down, Mr. Lizard Man.
You and Kirby using the same barber.
I need to get that. What if I wore that down? I need to. You know what I need to do? I need to get me a visor. People would buy it. People would actually believe that I would be Kirby Smart somewhat. I just got to start cussing more, I guess.
Yeah.
Soft. Kobe, you've heard a lot of Kirby. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the Super Bowl, we won't talk about that. People always want to hear it, and it's like, you really don't. I mean, most people really don't. But Super Bowl, this part of the show is brought to you by BetUS. Go sign up and save.
Oh, yeah.
But the line for the Super Bowl is 1.5 towards the Eagles. I think they cover that easily. Eagles win. Under over's 50. I think you bet the over. I think I'm with Juan. These are two offenses that are going to score. They're built to score. They're going to score. The Eagles' defense is, solid, but I still think that Patrick Mahomes and everybody, as long as they don't have a game like they had against the Bucs that year where they couldn't block anybody, I mean, I think I see both teams putting up in the 30s.
I feel like Pat Mahomes is like how can I explain this? Pat Mahomes is like a damn wizard at the quarterback position. Like, just some of the things that he can do, like launch points where he releases the ball from. I just really wonder, though. I mean, and you got Travis Kelce, right? It shows you why the tight end is an important position. But the Eagles, I just feel like they're more complete, if that sounds weird. However, I think if Mecole was playing, right, I think if Mecole playing, that adds a different dynamic. But also, the Chiefs seemed to be a different team when they had Tyreek Hill. If that makes any sense. Like, now that they don't have Tyreek Hill and he's in Miami or whatever, I just don't know if they. I feel like Eagles win this game. I mean, I'm gonna go 31-24. 31-24, maybe. I don't really know much about the NFL myself, but yeah, I think it might be safe to say that you could put the money on the Eagles to cover the spread if that's the case. I mean, that's easy money if it's 1.5. Juan is laughing. What is so funny? We're gonna have to pause for 10 seconds for station identification while Juan gathers himself. Jesus Christ! Now I really need to know, because if you're watching this live, there you go. What's so funny, Juan?
Well, apparently Joel
Funding.
Spent all the money on the Swolder strip show when they were donating money, and then Black Adonis said that he used that money for his hip surgery. I don't know why I'm so giggly today. Again, these guys, they don't want me to be great, and it's sad.
They never do. They say they do, but they don't.
Yeah.
How dare y'all?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Swolders ain't doing any more strip shows. That's why he's got shoestrings on his hoodie.
Especially if my wife's in here. Y'all are going to get me in trouble. We'll be doing a lot more shows from the cell block.
Wait, ain't that why you were in here in the first place?
Yeah.
Ain't that why you got sent to C block?
Yeah.
Parole violation.
Silence is golden. Hashtag gotta be.
I mean, if y'all remember, Juan would always kind of go off camera for a little bit. There's probably a reason behind that. Juan, do you have your composure card?
I need to.
The dog ate it?
Yeah, he did.
I got you.
Yeah.
So
Talking about Super Bowl, one more thing. The team, I forget which way it is. I think it's the team that wins the coin flip has won like the past 16 Super Bowls.
Really?
Something like that. Yeah. I'll look it up real quick, but I'm pretty sure that's it.
Interesting. I find that very interesting, actually. So I want to pose a question to any viewers. Are you a fan of either team in the Super Bowl? Are you an Eagles fan? Are you a Chiefs fan? Just curious to know. Let us know in the comments, by the way. If you're listening on podcasts, just hit us up on social media and tell us you're an Eagles fan or a Chiefs fan. What is the Super Bowl like for Juan? What is the Super Bowl like for you when you have no skin in the game? What's the Super Bowl Sunday like for you?
And you just kind of root for players. Like I said, I'm rooting for Jalen Hurts. I just think that he's just a class guy. Even though he's an Alabama guy, I just think he's a class guy. But and then again, like I said, I'm looking at it for the commercials. Eating good and all that kind of good stuff. And just being thankful for family, friends, not living in Utah, just all kinds of things that you can.
I love the shade. I love that shade. I love it.
So,
wait, speaking of Utah, there might be your next quarterback taken from NFL from Utah, right there.
Let's go.
Just gonna leave that right there. Just leaving that right there.
So it's actually the opposite of what I said. Since the Seattle New England Super Bowl, the one with the pick, the team to win the coin flip has lost the game. Every game since that Super Bowl.
Regardless of what they do with the coin toss. Right? I'm assuming so. So a lot of people want to think that, whether you defer or receive can make a difference, but what you're saying, it doesn't matter.
What I'm saying is Seattle won that coin flip, called it correctly, and lost the Super Bowl. Carolina called it. Atlanta called it. New England, the Rams, San Francisco, Kansas City, and the Bengals, and they all lost all the way.
I'm just saying, Pete Carroll did himself no favors by. Think about this. We talked. I think Kobe, that was one of your favorite, or Juan, that was your favorite moment, like memorable moment. You had one of the best physical running backs, and you had him at the goal line multiple times, and you throw a slant route. What made him call that?
I don't know.
But do you remember? So the league.
It was
great.
It was some great writing.
Are y'all familiar with the league?
That's true. That's what it is. The writing.
Are you familiar with the league? The show?
No.
I've
basically,
heard of it,
it's hilarious. It's a fantasy football show, basically, where a group of friends are like fanatical fantasy football players to the point where they do all types of different shit, but you'll have like random players on there. Marshawn Lynch, go back and watch this. Marshawn Lynch he made an appearance on there, and I think they were at the beach or something, and one of the characters, he was walking him a beer over. He's like, he was like, just walk it over here. Marshawn saying this, he's like, I got you. Right? He said, no, throw it over here. Throw it over here. Like just basically making a light of it. It was brilliant. I know I just butchered that, but if you go just go look it up, type in the league and then Marshawn Lynch, and you'll see that little segment right there. Masterpiece. Let's see. When I get my script about coming to Georgia but never getting to play, sheesh, that was a tough read, Adonis.
Yeah, I like it, Pat. Marshawn was there so he wouldn't get fined anyway. You know why I'm here.
Oh, you know what? So hold on, though. Speaking of, that's another memorable moment we ain't even talked about, media days.
Yeah.
There's been some memorable stuff going on, and I think that has to top. That's like the top of the iceberg.
Yeah. You know why I'm here.
Just sat there for 5 minutes. If you're a media reporter, is it funny at that point, or is it pissing you off because you have nothing to write about?
Yeah, you have nothing. But everybody gets the Everybody gets the same thing.
I mean, let's see. Adonis coming back in when he got a script to high jump at Georgia, but then losing it, he cried with joy. Didn't jump for joy, apparently.
Yeah, he cried.
Yeah, that's about right. Gator tears.
I think if you're a media person though, and a player's doing that, then you're always pissed off, because one thing we know about a lot of people in the media, they are soft and sensitive, and they think that the questions they have to ask are the most important part of playing Super Bowl. I saw something that media members were complaining about Nick Sirianni taking his kids to the post-game presser of the NFC Championship, and how it's not a place for children, and that's people's livelihoods to ask him questions, and he should answer without distraction from his children. Soft. Yeah. Must have been a Florida fan.
Terrible.
A Florida fan. All right, I really need to get a visor. I really do. So I can I need to either that or put a graphic whenever we hear something like that where it just pops up and say, "Soft."
Soft.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Apparently, Pat says he heard that Adonis is the reason the garbage didn't give Rashad of that NIL money that they promised. Now we're barking up a whole different scenario.
Brother, $375,000 a month.
That's insane.
Juan, what do you think? You're goated like that. What would you do?
I mean, well, first off, the initial payments and all of that, and then each year he's getting more and more. That's just crazy. But you're basically just taking away, everything that college football is about when you're doing that type of stuff, man. It's terrible.
Well, I mean, to me though, that's the problem is we could literally get down a rabbit hole with this, because you talk yourself into the NIL and pay for play situation. That's just the epitome of pay for play right there. I mean, let's be real here, in my opinion. Jesus.
I just think the hard thing about that is you're offering that to Rashada now as a recruit. I would tell you there are probably less than 5 quarterbacks in the entire college football that I'd offer that kind of money to.
Shit, how many quarterbacks in the NFL are worth that? I mean, you have several, but you get what I mean. There are NFL quarterbacks that aren't worth that.
I agree, but I'm just saying, you're talking about Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, C.J. Stroud, maybe.
But
after that,
and this is before they even prove themselves. I mean, that's the thing. It's just kind of.
Well, this is like signing. No, this is not a knock, but it's like signing Jacob Eason to a $13 million deal.
Yep.
I mean, he had all the talent in the world, all the God-given ability. It just didn't work out for him in the end.
Yeah, so I feel the brigade is they're literally off.
Hey, it can't be Adonis in the gang. It's only Rob in the gang. I'm sorry.
My boy Rob in the gang.
Yeah, you can't.
You know what?
Throw up the trail graphic. Rob in the gang.
Rob, yes. Yep, Rob in the gang. Yeah. He needs that. No, he needs to have a Jesse James type thing going on. The old West, the wild West.
Is Adonis going to be the Huckleberry?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Hey, another thing too I wanted to say about the Super Bowl that I think is also that again another reason why I'm rooting for Jalen Hurts is because he'll win a Super Bowl, at 24 years old.
Who's going to claim him though? Is it Bama or Oklahoma though?
I know where this is going.
I didn't say anything. I just left it there, man. I just think that's great.
I see. Yeah, we see exactly where Juan's taking.
No. That's not fair.
Bullshit. We know.
Right. I can't wait. I can't wait for our April show when I get to see both of y'all sweat out y'all's little bet.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we posted this on social media. We still haven't heard any social media comments. I'm going to give a shout out there to Vern Funquist, right? Chris Marler. I'm just going to let you know right now, the discussion is still out there. So if you have a stipulation that you would like to hear, we're open for hearing this. I'm just going to let y'all know that. Listen, Me and Juan will both agree to the stipulation that we see and we find the best. So we have to both agree on that. That's the key, that's the catch. We both have to agree on it. Keep that in mind. Adonis also talking. He's like off the beaten path talking about this cage match, man.
Yeah.
Apparently, our secretary thinks that we can actually make money off said cage matches. I don't think he's understanding like Ready to Rumble with David Arquette.
But here's the thing, is I would be concerned about where the money is actually going. So maybe we should just have maybe a third party handle the monies, and then just then we can start negotiating.
I feel like I hate to sound bad about this, but I feel like our secretary is mishandling funds like Tennessee did.
Yeah.
Except it's not going on McDonald's bags; it's going in Kobe's pockets.
Kobe's pockets or hair, nails, all different types.
All I'm saying is I don't have the login to the YouTube. When they throw money in the super chat, we all know where that money is going.
Yeah.
And it's the man with the login, and it's the man with the coral shirt with the login.
Yes, coral.
I like that. That might be the new salmon right there.
Salmon.
Listen, I'm just gonna let you know. So Black Adonis is feeling pretty damn confident about this. He said Kobe takes one hit punch, he's done. Rob, I'm dropping on his head. You can't drop me more than I already was as a child. Leave me alone. And Juan legit old as hell, no issue.
Yeah.
You say that, but you old as hell too, though, Adonis. You old too. We know. Hell, I think you older than me. My youth and athletic prowess will show up.
Yeah. I guess he should be concerned. I mean, I've fought lions, over back in the day over in Rome, in the Coliseum, all of that kind of stuff.
He stopped Genghis Khan, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I was there at 300, at Thermopylae. So
Joel with the dagger from Joel.
What does he say?
Jesus. So apparently Pat's old as you, saying he was the photographer. All this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why. There's a reason why Genghis Khan had a picture. Before we met Juan Daniels. And
do y'all know how tough it is to carry those stones on all those pyramids like by myself?
God, that's a Jesus. That's a mystery of the world right there.
Yeah.
Juan Daniels did
That
it.
was
So
That was Juan's best friend in elementary school.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually wrote a sphinx.
Oh my God.
So like the sphinxes actually are real. So
now we got to do a graphic for Genghis Juan.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
The
content just writes itself.
Put me on a sphinx though. Like I said, that's more realistic.
You're gonna be sitting high up on that bitch too.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Juan
built a great wall by himself. Speaking of, I want to. So Rude says conqueror of the SEC East. I think we might have to make a show just for this purpose here. Who's gonna take the Dogs down from the SEC East perch? That might let's save that. Let it brew.
Yeah.
Let it brew, and it might actually be its own show because we could take a look at each of the teams and see who has a realistic shot. Just saying that right there. Juan, did you fly in the first UFO?
Yes.
Okay, so apparently
built it and flew it myself.
Pat said it was hard enough scaling the pyramids with a camera while Juan carried the stones. Apparently, hold on. I need to know who he's talking about. But Black Adonis said his head shaped just like that emoji.
Yeah, Joel put the alien emoji, and then yeah.
Oh no.
I'm gonna go with this the camera angle, but that's just
it's
that.
The lighting.
Yes, the lighting.
No, Juan. Here's one. I broke my back. Spinal.
It's my back. It's broke. It's broken.
My back it's broken.
It's broken.
Oh Jesus, Kobe! I feel like Kobe got left out somehow. He's pontificating upon some words here that I think he's about to let us hear.
No, I was looking up. I had to remember that. Speaking of Genghis Khan, that he really had a favorite hobby back in the day, but that over 16 million people today are descendants of him from his escapades back in the
Good Lord.
day.
You should have seen the women back there, man. Back there, there were some lookers.
Dogs. There were some dogs.
It looked like it too. Looked like it too.
Look away.
Yeah, we wrong for this. apparently, JOWG says an excuse for everything. By the way.
Yeah.
Oh, so I favor him now that I look at him. Stop playing. I don't see.
Genghis Rob in the gang.
It just don't sound right. It's got to be Genghis Khan. Just leave it there. Juan's right. I got picks. I love how the Super Bowl turned into the roast session of all three of us.
Yeah. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe.
Welcome to non-football season for us, right?
Yeah.
Like Jesus.
We do have an announcement to make about Monday's show.
Uh-oh.
You want to announce or you want me to do it?
Go for it, sir. Go for it.
So Monday's show, as of right now, we're pretty sure, will not be at noon as normally done. It's actually going to be me and Juan on at 7 o'clock Monday night with Rylan Godey and Tate Ratledge in just a kind of like this, an interview, questions y'all may have, questions about the portal, questions about playing under Kirby, playing in back-to-back natties, just kind of talking about what it means to be a part of Georgia football and everything it's done for them and this university, this town. Just a real breakdown, 2-on-2 style, just shooting the shit. But from 7 to 8, it'll be live on Monday. And then after that, we'll see.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty interesting. Obviously, if you're not familiar with their podcast, Real Talk, it's highly worth going and checking out, I promise you. They have some really good content there. I know they're only like 19 or 20 episodes in, but I promise you it's really good content. I mean, they've had the quarterbacks, you name it, they've had it on there. Hell, they had Matt Luke on. They just had Brooks Austin talking about some things from the national title game and stuff. So that's great content. So we're looking forward to having them on the show. But yeah, I think that was a kind of a during the show announcement. But do we have any final thoughts upon this as we prepare for Super Bowl Sunday? Anybody want to ride us off into the sunset of this show?
Favorite Super Bowl food? Go.
Who's starting off?
Either one of y'all.
I'm a big kind of like a potluck thing where we just make multiple items. So like you've got like your meatballs in the crock pot, right? You got those. You've got pigs in blankets. Order a couple pizzas. You know, like I said, we when you have some folks over, it's always worth doing. But if it's just ourselves, you know, we'll make some finger foods, things like that. Like I said, pigs in blankets are always a plus. You know, crock pot meatballs, man, those things, brilliant. Juan, what about you?
Yeah, wings for me, all day.
Buffalo or barbecue or neither?
I like the Parmesan.
Garlic Parmesan. Okay.
Yep.
Where do you get your wings from, if you don't mind me asking?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay, so you'll go beat those. Okay.
Yeah, if you go there and get those, I mean, they are fantastic.
That brings up a valid complaint I've had in Athens all these years. Buffalo Wild Wings is like one of the top 10 sponsors of UGA athletics, and there isn't one within 55 miles of campus. Like,
it's wild, ain't it?
It's awful. I mean, I just don't understand it. Like how they don't have any kind of a footprint in a university that they give millions of dollars to each year. But I'm with Juan. I would say like true food, wings, probably barbecue. But
Okay.
Then like kind of snacks, kind of more like what you were talking about. Katie makes good buffalo chicken dip that we eat a good bit. So.
I'll tell you what, though, as we read some, we'll read some food selections here in the from the chat as well. Let's see, Black Adonis with the wings, never a bad call there. Let's see, Pat says wings, meatballs, Little Smokies. Little Smokies, yes, absolutely too. Chips and queso.
Joel says goat hoofs. That's weird. That's just kind of weird. I
Chips,
guess that's what
salsa,
we do in
and
Utah.
pizza.
Yeah.
Chips, salsa, and pizza. I think that's. I mean, like I said, they're all good selections. You know what I mean? I don't think you can necessarily be wrong with it. Is there one no for Super Bowl Sunday? Is there anything that's a true no?
Potato salad with raisins.
Oh God, what? Where did that come from? What in the hell, Juan?
Sorry,
Where
man.
did that come from, dude?
Yeah, is that one just ready to go? In case you might ask.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up though, guys. Obviously, make sure to tune in Sunday. Hopefully, the commercials are better than they have been in a couple years past, like these last few years. Obviously, you got Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Malik, and Mecole. Obviously, we said Mecole probably won't be playing, but good luck to all the dogs in the Super Bowl. Remember, Monday night, not noon, Monday night. Tune in. We'll be live here. And with that note, guys, Rob and the gang heading out. We'll see y'all next time. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.